Good morning and welcome to Ask the Expert. Ask the Expert is an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses just like you. If you have any questions, then ask them in the comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, then why not join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. Accountants and business experts just like myself are on hand 24/7. During the live session, we'll be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and we will reveal all at the end. Okay, so who am I? My name is Aaron Patrick, and it's a pleasure to be with you again. I'm a chartered accountant, also a certified UK trainer for Intuit QuickBooks with a fancy new logo. So why not be afraid to ask me any of those QuickBooks related questions? I don't mind whatsoever. I also own the state-of-the-art accounting firm called Boffix, which uses the best in cloud technology available to help small businesses just like yourself get crucial real-time information when they need it at their fingertips. If you require accountancy advice, payroll, bookkeeping services, and now even QuickBooks training, then please do get in touch. We don't want small businesses to survive, but to thrive. I also have a dedicated QuickBooks YouTube channel called Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, which is going to be the topic of today's session. So if you need any more QuickBooks news and advice, then why not go over and give that channel a follow. Okay, enough about me, and let's focus on today's session. As always, it's all about you and your burning questions. So if you have any questions, then please use any of the social channels to get in touch. So while we wait for the first of the questions to arrive, I've got a real quick PSA, so public service announcement. If any of you out there are pro certified advisors, so that means you've taken the QuickBooks test, then remember we have recertification on at the moment, running all the way till the 30th of June. And if you don't get yourself recertified, unfortunately, you will lose your current certification. So please, please, please look at recertification. So head over to your Pro Advisor portal and all your details will be there, including webinars and all sorts of content to help you get through that exam. But let's concentrate on today's topic though. As I hinted to in the intro, it's all about the way that YouTube or video in general has changed my practice and the way we use it in terms of putting YouTube channel content out there and also for social media purposes. But before we talk about why, let's talk about how I got myself started in the world of YouTube. And it was actually because of lockdown. It was because of the pandemic. It was because of needing to get information out to clients sooner rather than later. If you think back to that very first pandemic hit and when we first went into lockdown, a lot of uncertainty was around. We had furlough, we had all sorts of new schemes that were being generated literally overnight by HMRC. And we wanted to, as a practice, to help our clients and help other small businesses out there as much as possible. And for you who have been involved in Ask the Expert for a long time, you may or may not recall that I was part of the pilot Ask the Expert episode way back in just over a year ago. And we saw how much that pilot episode can help and how much it could be able to be used to be able to get information to more people than ever. And from a personal point of view and from a practice point of view, we thought about how we could do the same sort of idea of putting our content into video format and getting it out there. During the time, we were doing other traditional methods in terms of trying to help our clients. So we extended the availability of when people can book and talk to us. We put out newsletters, but ultimately we knew we needed to do more. We knew we needed to do a better way of being able to get information to clients. Things like the bounce back loans, things like furlough were all crucial information that we needed to get out there sooner rather than later. So that's why we turned to YouTube. And it was our kick start and a kick up the backside, if you like, to be able to go out there and go and actually start our journey and start creating content that we knew were going to help small businesses just like yourself. As we knew that video could be seen by much more eyeballs, many more than we could do if we were doing one-to-one calls or to going out there and putting a newsletter. We knew we were getting that information out there quickly and easily. And also because it was news content and also relevant news content, we were also able to use it as an instant response to our clients' questions. So if a client was coming in and asking a particular question about furlough or whatever it's going to be, we already had a back catalogue of content that we could pass over to them and ask them if that's going to be sufficient. If not, we were always going to be around to talk, but it was a way of being able to make sure we could get to as many different clients as possible in the time frame. So we found our new medium and we were looking about exploring what else we could do. And we're looking at ways in which we could train our own staff. So when we did our first furlough, for example, we recorded that whole session, and then we used that as a way of recording and teaching our own staff on how to do furlough for clients. We looked at training clients. We had clients who were on furlough, had nothing to do during that time, and we were using this as an opportunity to get them the skill set so that they could then start doing their own bookkeeping going forward and learning things like QuickBooks themselves. So it was a quick and easy way where we could actually put content out there to train our clients to be better in terms of looking after their own business. We were showing clients what they are doing. So we were using it as an opportunity to see snapshots of their business. So instead of having to arrange a particular time slot to talk and share screens, we could record what their business was doing, send it over to them, and we were answering questions not by just pure email, but actual video content as well. And then we started thinking about whole new business opportunities. So for example, we're really proud of ourselves with what we call our client MOT. So if a client comes to us and was a bit unsure about their books and they're a little bit worried about if they've done things right, then when we look and try and fix it for them, we record on screen. So just like when you send your car to a garage, we're giving the opportunity for our clients to see exactly what their problems were and letting them know how they can fix it or how we can get fixed for it as well. And also, a little well-known secret out there is that we were actually getting paid for all this because our channel got to the point where it was what's called monetized. And that means that every time someone was viewing our videos, we're actually getting a small bit of income for it. And we were really lucky, actually, because we were finding social media as a whole to be a little bit tricky in terms of what content to put out there, about how to keep it relevant, how to keep it consistent. But we're finding these YouTube videos, as long as we were making them consistent and on a regular basis, they were completing our content for us. We were able to, again, use that opportunity to answer client questions. And that's all our YouTube videos at the beginning were all about. We just knew that a client was asking a particular question. Well, that must mean that other people need to know. So we're using that to make sure everyone had it. And then having that opportunity to have this content there meant that our social media became a lot more straightforward. We always had a back catalogue of content to talk about. We always had something that we could drum up a conversation about. And then it just means that we just had to fill in the gaps, basically, to make sure that our content on social media was always relevant, up to date, and more importantly, gave people a reason to want to follow. Then came the chance of looking at exactly what was going to be part and parcel of what our whole channel was all about, which was, again, talking about what information or what problem our clients had. But the only difference in what we would normally do is pick up the phone and talk to a client was we were just talking to the camera like I am now. We found ourselves a little niche, which for me was QuickBooks, but yours, if you're looking to do your own YouTube, can be absolutely anything. One of the things we definitely found that there is a following for literally everything out there on the internet. So if you've got a niche that you're comfortable of talking about, then just get yourself some content out there and you'll see how wonderful it's going to be. And as I said, you can then use that content to reuse for other social media platforms, maybe Twitter's new fleet or Shorts or Instagram stories. It's all video content, so you can take one big chunk and then be able to put it into smaller elements if you need to. We also found it a way where in a month's time, we could talk about a content we've already done and we could talk about it again. And it was just giving us that opportunity to always have that conversation on social. And if we were ever going through social posts and we're looking at like Facebook forums, like we've said at the beginning about the Facebook community post, you'll notice a lot of my answers. I'm just going to bring in one of the videos I've already done to explain whatever that issue might be for QuickBooks. And that's the beauty of this medium. Everyone out there needs an answer. Everyone out there has questions, and whatever profession you've gone for, you're an expert in that field. So from a coffee maker telling everyone, a barista telling everyone what the right coffee bean is going to be, all the way to a barrister for the first tips on how to deal with a courtroom, there's always going to be information out there that people are going to want to listen to. And my final bit of advice, I've got 5 tips for you to start out so that you can get yourself up and running. And the number one, and by far the most important, is don't keep making excuses. Before the pandemic hit, I was always talking about how I want to do YouTube or I want to do video format, but I don't quite have the right lighting, or I don't quite have the right this, or I don't quite have the right that, or maybe I've not got the right software. Ignore all of that. At the end of the day, all you need is a half decent phone and get yourself some software that's on that phone. And that's all you need to start out. And it literally is that. Once you've got yourself that opportunity of just getting over that first excuse and putting that first video out there, that's when you're going to have the opportunity to be able to start really making it. Number two, my tip number two, don't worry about how you sound and look, because I know that's by far the most problematic area. People are self-conscious. I'm exactly the same. But the great thing is that, first of all, you've got loads of technology behind you. You don't have to be always on screen. You can have B-roll. You can have animated elements of yourself. I know a practice of ours who are looking into doing that animojis, and that's their whole content is going to be about a talking caricature. And that could be something that could be really easy now with this technology. So don't worry too much about that. Look and concentrate on what content you want to get out there, and I promise you people will understand it. And today, people are listening and talking to you on the phone, and it's only the same, or by Zoom or whatever it's going to be, and it's the same concept. People aren't put off by it, so just have confidence in yourself when you put it there. Number three is when you edit the process, you're going to be able to look and be able to understand exactly what's going on. That first one that you ever do is always going to be your worst video you'll ever put out there. But you'll edit it, you'll understand that you've done this wrong, that wrong, or whatever it's going to be, and you'll improve on yourself. It's one of the best ways in which you can look at yourself and be critical of maybe how you approach a particular project or approach a particular subject. I was constantly finding for myself that maybe sometimes when I was explaining to a client, say director's loan or something, that maybe I was overcomplicating it. And having that editing process made me go, actually, if I was a bit more concise here and a bit more concise there, overall, I'm going to have a better experience. People are going to understand it quicker, and everyone's going to be in a better position. So use that editing process. Be critical of yourself. It's a brilliant way to understand exactly how you're going and how you can improve on yourself. Number four, think about collaboration. Collaboration is when you're looking at another YouTuber or another Instagram influencer or whoever it's going to be, and you bounce ideas off one another. You go into their content. They come into your content. They're going to want to do it because you're a subject matter, so an expert subject matter. So they're going to want to bring you in and talk to their audience about something new or something that they've not been able to answer before. And you're then going to get the exposure to their audience, and you're going to bring them to a new audience as well. Collaborations are really, really useful, and they're really fun as well. Like, we've had some really great ideas. Coming up in the next couple of weeks on our channel, we're doing QuickBooks versus Xero, and we're going to have these challenges set with one of the other Ask the Expert regulars here, Rachel from Accountancy, and we're going to be able to find out exactly which one's better, QuickBooks or Xero, with these fun challenges, like I said. And those sort of ideas would never have happened if both of us weren't willing to have a try on YouTube and find out exactly what's there. So these sort of things can be really fun, really engaging, and ultimately can be really rewarding as well. And finally, number five, make sure 100% that you enjoy doing the content and you enjoy putting it together. One of the things that you can easily become susceptible to is all of that information, all of those numbers, the followers and the subscribers and the watch hours and all this sort of the other. I said at the beginning how there's that secret formula and that known secret that you can get paid for doing YouTube. Well, you only get paid when you hit a certain threshold and a certain number and everything else. And sometimes you can get focused and too focused on that particular criteria. Promise you, if you forget about all that and just concentrate on putting the content out there, concentrate on answering people's questions, concentrating on understanding what the needs of your people that you're trying to talk to are, then that's when you'll start finding growth. That's when you'll start hitting those numbers and you won't have to worry about them. But if you just focus on those numbers and that's all you think about, then it will start showing in your content. So please, 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 always enjoy what you're doing. Think about what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, and then ultimately use that to drive you forward. So hopefully they've got some 5 tips there that's going to get you out there. I'd really love you to go out there and put some content out there. And let us know how it's going and putting it through there. Hopefully we can get as many people on there on the platform as possible. So with that, let's go on to our first question of the day. Remember that this whole point of QuickBooks Ask the Expert is all about you and your burning questions. So if you do have any questions, you've still got time, put a comment section of the video and get yourself involved. Okay, so first question we have from Penny on Facebook Messenger asks, I've been using Cashflow Planner in QuickBooks, but I'm not sure I've set it up right. Seems to be making inaccurate predictions. Is there a way to review the data inputs and or reset it? Great question here from Penny. And as I said at the beginning, I'm a QuickBooks trainer. So if you do have any QuickBooks questions, do get them asked here and now. Penny's question here is all about a brand new feature called Cashflow Forecast. It was released during the pandemic, and the whole point is it's going to give you as a business owner an understanding of how your cash flow is going to look. And as Penny says there, it's designed to look at it and start to predict and start to think about what's going on going forward. And it uses data from the bank previously to try and predict going forward. Now, unfortunately, Penny, the only way you can reset this is by literally cancelling your bank connections and reconnecting it. But ultimately what will happen is it's going to find the right predictions. But don't be too disheartened. The whole point of Cashflow Planner is it learns over time. It understands what's going on. It understands what your normal parts are going to be, and it will give you chance. What I do in situations like this, when I feel like it's a little bit inaccurate, is just delete those particular predictions or post a contra entry. So if you've got the outgoings that you're not quite sure are going to be there and they keep going, you can put an income into to contra it and put it as more like a prediction that you don't think is needed to be done. I promise you that the more that you add to that cash flow, the more that you work with it, the more you mold it, the more you're going to get out of it. So yes, you can reset it by disconnecting that bank account and starting again, but your best option is to throw as much data as possible. Let it learn, let it understand. The more times you keep deleting a prediction, the less likely that prediction is going to turn up. So keep using it, just treat it as an idea. And the fact that it is having these wild predictions every now and again just means that your business model and your thing is a little bit more complicated than probably the more kind of average business out there. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So let it use that, let it learn from that and start trying to use it from there forward. But more importantly, I think than anything out of this is the fact that you're looking to use it. That's a huge sign that you as a business owner are being really prudent in this time and actually thinking about what the next steps are going to be. Recovery and everything else. So keep at it, keep plugging away. And worst case scenario, if you really are still struggling with it, then do look at the App Store. So on the App Store, there's loads of cash flow alternatives on there, which can be useful for more complicated scenarios. So you might find that if you are focused on cash flow, which is the right thing to do, then maybe for your particular business, have a look at the App Store, have a look at some of the cash flow planners on there, might be your best bet. So good luck with that. Hopefully it goes well for you, Penny, and good luck with how that's going. Speaking of Declan was the next one on Twitter DMs, and he asks, I've set up as a sole trader and looking into becoming a landlord. Oh, well done. Do I need to set up a separate business to manage the landlord bits, or can I run it through my current business? Well, Declan, it all depends on what that current business is. So you're not being able to tell us there, I'm set up as a sole trader looking to become a landlord. So we don't know what your other business is going to be. Becoming a landlord. Oh, yeah, actually, I think I've realized what's going on here. Okay, so so with this particular one, they've got a sole trader business. That could be anything from a contractor to, to a vet, to any type of sole trader out there. When you say becoming a landlord, what you mean is you're going to be looking to get yourself onto rental property, and you're going to be getting rental income. Now, unfortunately, rental income is a separate part of your tax return, so you are going to have it as a separate part in terms of recording. Also, what's going to be important is at the moment we just have one tax return to complete, which is great. And in your scenario, you're going to have your self-employed income and you're going to have your landlord income, and basically you're then going to have to put both of those in your tax return, and that's going to form the full part of your tax return itself. But going forward in making tax digital, which is only a couple of years away, then unfortunately both of those different income streams will have to be recorded on a quarterly basis. That will both need their own separate piece of software. So my advice, getting yourself ready and getting yourself up to date, is just to have two separate pieces of software, and that can both be QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is more than capable of being able to run a separate piece of software for your self-employed, separate piece of software for your rental income, and all you do when you log in is you choose which one of those businesses you want to flip between, and then you can go from there. Also, I'd highly recommend in both of these businesses just having that separate bank account. That's going to be great for discipline. That's going to be great for keeping you on your toes and just making sure that you're keeping those right expenses and the right income in the right different business streams. So yeah, definitely have two different businesses and treat them as two different businesses. Have two different QuickBooks license or whichever software you're looking to use and two different bank accounts. And I promise you'll have a better way of being able to complete your tax return at the end. And it's going to mean that things like losses from one business and losses from the other rental things are not going to get merged or anything complicated like that. It means you're going to be in a better position. So good luck with it. Hopefully you'll be able to go and get that completed. Okay, Kate on Facebook Messenger asks, creating video that actually looks good surely either takes a lot of time, skill, or ends up costing a lot. I'm a novice at marketing, let alone video. What would be your advice for getting into it while keeping it cost effective? Great question there, Kate. And you're absolutely right. To get it absolutely perfect and, an Avengers style movie, then yes, it does cost a lot of money, a lot of skill and everything else. But think about what it is, the content and the audience that you're looking for. They will most likely much prefer having this whole experience we've got here where all I'm doing is I'm talking into a camera. I'm talking to this camera with a microphone, and that's all that we're needing to do for this particular medium. And when you're first starting, that's all you're going to need to do as well. And again, a mobile phone is all you really need to start it out. And that's going to give you the confidence. Once you've got those first couple of videos out there, again, they're going to be your worst videos you're ever going to do. It's no secret that, but you're going to see how to improve them. You're going to see on what it takes to get it better. You're going to see on what is actually going to be needed to be able to get out there and get it to the quality that you want it to be. And I promise you that once you start sending that information out there, once you start using the opportunity to just talk into a camera and understand, then you'll see that where the money is best spent if you do want to start improving certain bits. So, for example, my biggest investment that I would ever tell anyone to make is their microphone or their way of in recording how the audio is going to sound. Because if you get good audio and a poor video, you're more likely going to retain that particular audience. If you have really great video but poor audio, most people won't be able to go through that content, and you're not going to retain them for very long. So do just invest on a decent way of getting some audio in there, and then think about lighting and that sort of stuff, and build it over time. There's no rush. You don't have to get the latest equipment ever, but if you do want to keep improving, then just do it over time. Do little small bits, and you'll see from when you're editing your own videos and looking at them what investments made the most improvement and how that's gone forward. And I promise you'll be able to find ways in which you'll be able to make it work really well. So start with your phone. You can even use free software on your phone to edit it and get it to YouTube. And then from there, you'll be able to see what's going to be best going forward. Great question though, Kate, though. Hopefully have a go. Please have a go at putting that first video together. See what you think of it. Get it out there into the world. And then you'll be able to see from there what's next. Next question, Ollie on Instagram DMs asks, how should I log a refund on QuickBooks? Accidentally overpaid a supplier. They didn't seem to send a credit note, just refunded the difference. Great question here, Ollie. And it's one of those ones that gets more and more asked on a regular basis. Personally, I think this is one of those areas where you've just got to be a little bit careful. There's no a magic button that you can press to be able to get it sorted on QuickBooks nice and easily. You've just got to do a bit of a workaround, if you like, to be able to do that. Now, that workaround is basically that you're going to have to post when you make that payment to your customer. When you physically pay that customer, you'll see that transaction will appear in your bank account. When it appears in your bank account, you want to post it to trade debtors, or whatever your debtors account is called. You're going to put no VAT if you're VAT registered. And the key thing is you need to put which customer it relates to. What that's going to do is that's going to effectively, if you think about it on your customer ledger, it's going to show that repayment's been made. And then at that point, you'll be able to allocate it accordingly from there. It's not brilliant. It's not perfect, but it does work. So you're going to post the trade debtor. You're going to post that transaction when it hits the bank account. You're going to put it to trade debtors. You're going to put it to no VAT. And you're going to make sure the right customer's against that. And that is a way of putting your refund to your customer into QuickBooks. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to get that done nice and straightforward. Next question. Kirsty on YouTube asks, how do I know which QuickBooks license is best for me? Well, actually, there's loads of ways in which you can get the information on what's best. So if you go to the QuickBooks website, they've got this wonderful little checklist. You can tick, 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 tick and go through there. But also here at Bofix, we've just launched a brand new mini site, if you like. And the idea of that mini site is to help people use QuickBooks. And one of the things we did was we put a quiz together. So the idea is if you're struggling in which QuickBooks license right for you, head over to that Bofix mini site. So any of my YouTube videos, we've got a link to it there. And then what you'll find from there is there's going to be an opportunity for you to take a quiz. And by the time you've answered those questions, so it's going to ask questions about your business. Once you've answered those questions, it will tell you which QuickBooks license is right for you. And we've even made it so you can buy that license right from there as well. So yeah, do try out that quiz. Let us know how it goes as well, because we're testing at the moment. We're seeing what's working and what's not. Sarah on YouTube asks, how can I open 2 company on QuickBooks Online? Great question, Sarah. And it's one of these questions that get asked so many times. So big tip for you. When you're using QuickBooks Online, it's all about your browser. So if you have 2 browsers on one computer, makes it really simple. Just open 2 different browsers, either Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, or Chromium. And then all you need to do then is on both those different browsers is to actually log into each individual one. That's the easy way of doing it. If you just have one browser though, I've got one more tip for you, and that's incognito mode. So it doesn't matter what browser you've got, it's either called incognito mode or private mode, something like that it'll be called. On Safari, it's private. On Chrome though, it's called incognito. All you need to do is keep your QuickBooks on one company logged in on your main browser, Chrome, whatever it's going to be. Open up an incognito window, and then from there log in, and you have 2 different instances of QuickBooks, and you can interact with both of those different companies at the same time. Really, really useful, especially if you've got a group scenario, which I assume, Sarah, is what you've got, or something along those lines where you need to look at 2 different companies. Excuse me. It's the best and simplest way of doing it. Just have both of them open either side, and then as long as you've got one browser and then an incognito browser, you can go from there. And I think with that, then I've just got time for one more question. Let's go for Jasmine from Facebook Messenger. I'm about to get an accountant on board and hand over my QuickBooks after doing it myself a few years. I'm kind of worried what he'll make of it and if there's anything I should do to tidy up beforehand. Great question, Yasmin. And the best thing for you to do here is make sure you've reconciled your bank account. So if you go into your bank and you go into the area there, and you look at the bank account itself, first of all, make sure those 2 numbers are the same, so in QuickBooks and bank account. And then to take it even further, and as a Brucey bonus, make sure you go into the reconcile area, get your bank statement as of today or whenever the date's going to be, and make sure that whatever is in that bank account is there. If not, keep going back a month. Find it to the point that it is, and then you'll be able to go through, tick, and you'll be able to find out exactly what the problem is. But a reconciled bank account is a godsend for any accountant out there. So if you can make sure your bank account's reconciled, you're going to be halfway there for them. And then the other one is just looking through the data in a bit more of a common sense. So the report I would use is what's called profit and loss by month. That's profit and loss by month. And that's going to give you a profit and loss account in nice monthly totals. And you'll be able to go and see if there's anything missing. For example, you might see that your rent is there every single month, bar, say, the 10th month. That gives you a chance to go and say, right, what's happened, investigate it further, and maybe you'll find that you may have posted it to the wrong place, whatever it's going to be. So man, 2 quick tips for you. If you do need any more advice, though, hello@bofix.com. Give us a message there. We'll be more than happy to do an MOT for you. As I said, we record everything there so you know exactly what we've done, and we tell you exactly what needs to be done going forward. And that is it. That is today's session all done and dusted. Thank you, everyone who has been with me today. Before you go, though, I have the poll results just in. So we asked you, and we were asking you to be engaged on this one. It says, is video content part of your business marketing strategy? 0% of you said yes, while 100% of you said no. Now, I do hope from this video, and if not, do go back and re-watch it, that there's some tips there to get yourself out there and try it. 100% promise you, not only do you get paid from YouTube, which is a great thing, or potentially get paid, but also you'll be getting yourself out there to a whole lot more eyeballs than traditional methods. So it is well worth it. You just need to take that plunge, get yourself talking into that phone, and go from there. Highly recommend it. And next time we do something like this, I want to see that 0% being increased from there. Do give it a go. I highly recommend. It's going to be something that's worthwhile for you. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you need to get in touch and contact with me, you can send a message to hello@bofix.com. Coming up tomorrow, we've got a great one tomorrow. Jamie Fraser, founder of the CEO of 996 Solutions, a legal operations consultancy who advise corporate legal departments and law firms. I certainly have a couple of questions lined up that I can't wait to ask tomorrow. He'll be discussing why business law can often be slow and how to make efficiencies in your law department. And that's something we all need to figure out, is efficiencies, especially now we're going through recovery. A reminder that if you need any more advice, join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook. You'll see lots of my videos on there. That's how I tend to answer most of those, because accountants and business experts just like myself are hand 24/7. So do make sure you get yourself over there and we can answer questions as you go along. I've really enjoyed answering questions today. It's been an absolute honor to be on again. And have a great day. And no doubt I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.